but equally, there's been hundreds of billions invested to save these companies and businesses and these jobs. We just need that bridge to get us through to reopen. But two of the biggest issues we're looking at on the budget is, number one is business rates, which we've been talking about for a long time. I've talked on your show before about business rates. They're very unfair, unsustainable tax. And let's hope there is obviously the continued relief. But we need this fundamental reform. But Nick, the other big one is this reversal of tax-free shopping. Last year, the Chancellor took us out of this tax-free shopping. This is what tourists obviously claim when they come to London, around the country. But the government's going to miss all the other VAT and all the other benefits of tourists coming to London.
I think we might have had one line come across yours there, Mr. Tyrrell, because I think the call came in and we've lost you. But thank you for your points. We'll try and speak again either side of the budget. Even Jason Tyrrell, your CEO of the new West End company, will get into the whole idea concerning the stamp duty and property with our property expert Russell Quirk, the other side of the news headlines. Also coming up, the other side of the news headlines.
Perfect timing from next.co.uk.
You'll hear from the Chief Executive Officer, the boss of Next, Lord Wolfson, son and now Lord Wolfson, who's launching a £250,000 economics prize. But how is that prize to be won? You'll find out after this 8:15 LBC News headlines. Thomas Watts.
The Schools Minister, Nick Gibbs, says the government has put in place protective measures to avoid grade inflation in this year's teacher-determined GCSE and A-level results. GCHQ says it will use artificial intelligence to help fight increasingly sophisticated criminal activity. Australia has passed a law forcing social media giants to pay news organisations for displaying their content. Rain clearing slowly across southeast England, but most places dry with sunny spells. 11 Celsius.
LBC Travel, I'm Joanne Webb. If you need to travel, do be aware in Surrey, the M23 remains closed southbound from the M25 to Junction 9 at Gatwick Airport. The investigation works do continue. In Gloucestershire on the M4 at Junction 20, the eastbound exit slip road to the M5 is closed after an accident, and there are delays of over an hour on the main carriageway. In Hertfordshire, there are queues on the A1M southbound to Junction 6 at Welling following an accident, and in Cumbria, Junction 37 at Kendal, a lorry's broken down.
This is LBC.
The Census builds a picture of our community. When you fill in yours, you help make decisions about that matter to you, like our local hospitals,
Better transport connections.
school places. Census Day is the 21st of March. Look out for more information in the post or visit census.gov.uk. Census 2021. It's about us. Delivered by the Office for National Statistics.
Call Nick Ferrari now. 0345 6060 973. This is LBC.
These are not just hot cross buns. These are award-winning M&S hot cross buns. Try the melt-in-the-mouth extremely chocolatey buns bursting with rich chocolate chunks, or our uniquely spiced luxury buns with Fostisa currants and lemon peel. Any 2 packs for £2.50. Selected stores only. Prices may vary. T's and C's apply.
Quick check, buy that fast.
Get a credit limit of up to £1,500 when you need it.
With an Ocean credit.
Check if you're eligible at ocean.co.uk without it affecting your credit score. It only takes a minute. Intelligent Lending Limited is a credit broker. Capital One is the exclusive lender. Representative 39.9% APR variable. Borrow and spend responsibly. The Ocean Credit Card. There for when you need it most. Visit ocean.co.uk.
Now's the perfect time to get behind the wheel of a brand new Skoda. 0% APR representative across the range until the 28th of February in the Skoda virtual event. Book a video appointment with your local retailer at skoda.co.uk. Driven by something different. Skoda. With Solutions PCP, minimum 10% deposit required. Agreements between 18 to 36 months. Order by the 28th of February and delivered by the 30th of April 2021. Stock vehicles only. T's and C's apply. Excludes SE Technology, IV and VRS models. Indemnities may be required. Skoda Financial Services.
Pets in a Pickle have your pets covered with pet insurance policies as unique as they are. Visit petsinnapickle.co.uk.
Jimmy's finest steak for 2.
Me and Dad share all the cooking now, since he and Mum want their separate ways. So I'll pop into Tesco, grab a couple of their finest steaks, sprinkle in the thyme, splash of olive oil, and pan fry it. Oh, I'm cooking tea for 2, alright, but tonight it's for me Dad and his date. And usually we'd have garlic, but I'll skip that this
style, if you know what I mean.
Make any evening special with Tesco finest 30-day matured British sirloin steaks. Food Love Stories, brought to you by Tesco.
Need a website for your business? Then you need 123reg. With our new website builder starter tool, fill in a quick form and you can create a site in less time than it takes to brew a cup of tea. And it's just £1 a month. A website for £1. Yeah, like £1. What don't you get, Gary? I thought stuff like that was expensive. Terms and conditions apply. Register any business name at .co.uk for just 99p to get your one-page site online. Pricing excludes VAT at 20%. Visit 123-reg.co.uk for more information. £1?
Oh, this is going to be a long shift.
Nick Ferrari at breakfast on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
8:20 coming up, the opportunity to win a £250,000 prize, but you're going to have to reimagine a hospital. Details from the businessman who's going to be putting that up, Simon now Lord Wolfson, who's chief executive, next in a moment. Back to this seems to be setting the mood music for Wednesday of next week. Let's talk a little more about stamp duty. Holiday for at least another 3 months. Of course, in a way, should it be got rid of totally? It goes back, I think, to the 1600s, actually. Russell Quirk is probably expert at movinghomeadvice.com and founder of eMove, that's with a double O-V, emove.co.uk. What do you think needs to happen with stamp duty, and what has the impact been of the holiday so far? Good morning to you.
Morning, Nick. Well, the impact has been significant. The property market, as we came out of lockdown, was trundling along quite nicely, actually. And then, of course, Rishi decided to turbocharge it with the removal of stamp duty for anyone buying up to £500,000. So that's a saving of about up to £12,000. That's the maximum saving for all buyers at the moment. Obviously, now extended potentially to the end of June, but the average saving is about £4,000. Now, I think it's pretty easy to say we should do away with it. But, of course, what we need to understand, I guess, from Rishi's point of view, is that then leaves a hole of about £9 billion, which I guess is kind of quite well needed at the moment. So I think it's very easy to say get rid of it, and of course it would help the property market. But your economist just now I thought was very interesting, talking about all of the things to help re-accelerate the property market. We also need to be careful that we don't then end up back in this kind of overheating situation, which we have done many, many times over the last 2 or 3 decades, which of course is really exaggerated by the fact that we have a continuing lack of supply when it comes to new homes. So we do need to be careful what we wish for, I think. But as we sit here now, the property market is doing very, very nicely indeed. We saw house prices rise by 8% last year, which is pretty phenomenal when you think that we were in the midst of a pandemic. Transactions are up. So if you look at December numbers alone, when we normally see about 80,000 completions, we saw over 125,000 completions this December. So to extend it is great. Estate agents will have, you'll hear their champagne corks popping all across the nation. But of course, we still then end up with a cliff edge at the end of June, Nick.
Yes, we do. And we'll talk again closer to the time. Russell Quirk, thank you. You're probably expert at Moving Home Advice.com and founder of emove.co.uk. Matthew, we'll talk to you about that, but here's another story I wanted to get into, and the opportunity to win a £250,000 prize. But my goodness me, you certainly earn the money, because you'd effectively have to reimagine hospitals. Yes, you did hear that correctly. Now, the money's being put up in conjunction with the policy exchange by businessman and chief executive of Next, Simon now Lord Wolfson, who joins me today. Well, congratulations. It's an exciting initiative, Lord Wolfson. Can you run over the basic criteria of what someone or an organisation would have to supply? Good morning.
Good morning, Nick. Yeah, thank you. So basically what we're looking for is for new ideas that will improve hospitals. And the way we envisage them being improved is improving patient experiences, clinical outcomes, staff well-being, and the way that hospitals integrate with the wider healthcare network in their communities.
What has the pandemic taught us, possibly taught the government, about our health service and how it needs to be reimagined or reinvented, Lord Wolfson?
I think a lot of the problems and opportunities in our hospitals were there long before the pandemic. This is about new technology. It's about taking buildings that were built a lot of them built in the Victorian era, and designing into those buildings the things that we now know about how best to care for patients, whether that be the atmosphere of the reception when they walk in. Is it going to be scary, ugly, difficult to navigate, or is it going to be welcoming, calming, very clear what you've got to do, right through to the way that patients patients are moved from wards to theatres and back again in such a way that that transport is quick, it's efficient, and it's not done in the way that I experienced 2 years ago when I was being moved. $7 billion the government's going to spend on hospitals. We can engineer into hospitals everything from better food to better transport to less infection to improved clinical outcomes, and that is the prize.
It's the Wolfson Economics Prize. I'll ask you in a moment to give details. There's quite a comprehensive piece you've written for today's Daily Telegraph. If I can quote a bit about you. In my own career in retail, I've seen how better planning, innovative design and well thought through aesthetics can make or break shops and warehouses. Can you give me an example for customers who visited Next or any other of your other businesses?
Well, yeah, I think the best examples we've really got are in warehousing, where you can take an operation that would take a warehouse operative maybe a minute to find a garment, and with the right mechanisation you can reduce that operation down to a couple of seconds. In shops, of course, walking into a shop that has light, air, space, where you can see everything very clearly, all those things contribute to whether people will actually buy something or not. And in the same way, interestingly, the aesthetics of a hospital, I think that first impression when you walk in is terribly important. It's important because if people are scared and on edge when they go into a hospital, they're less likely to be receptive to what's being told to them and the medicine they're getting, and B, they're less likely to go in the first place, and we need to address both those issues.
Okay, I think details are at Policy Exchange. Is that the best way for my people to get involved? Just while I have the benefit of you on the line, as a leading businessman, you'll be aware 6 days away from a budget. What would you like to see from Chancellor Rishi Sunak?